Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity, a show about weirdos. With your hosts, John Fahey, Aaron Peter, and Matt Brousseau.
Hello, folks. Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity. It's a show about weirdos, doggone it. My name is John Boy. I'm your host, John Francis Fahey. Joining me as ever is autoerotic Octavius.
That's it. What do you think all these arms are for?
Hello, Peter.
They're choking me out.
Mm-hmm.
So I can, squeeze one out.
Yeah.
Oh, you will.
And to
You're right. My left.
your left, how about John Milk's boobs? The assassin.
Yeah. No, I got it.
What about, you could be Carl Transram.
It's pretty cool.
That's from listener Paul.
I like that, Paul.
Hit me
Thanks.
up on Instagram. He gave you a few other good choice ones.
Carl Transram.
Yeah. If you're into cooking shows, Enema Lagasse.
What is that?
Enema
Enema?
Lagasse.
Okay, very.
Like emerald.
Yeah. That's pretty good. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Got more?
A lot.
You're going to bank them, though.
I think I should bank them.
You should bank them.
Put them in the old spank bank.
Thanks, Paul. Ain't it just like Paul, man?
Just like Paul. To send so many.
And great to be here with you guys and you, John, you rich man, Splooge McCuck.
Oh, yeah. I think
we've done
Splooge
McCuck.
Okay.
Did somebody send you that?
Yeah.
Who was that?
That's from Marshall. Thanks, Marshall.
Hey, Marshall. Thanks,
Good
buddy.
one. Also, I shout out to our longtime fan, Fidencio.
Hey.
Who, he's pursuing a job as a teppanyaki cook.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
Very nice. Very skilled.
Good
Yeah.
luck to you, Fidencio.
Was he one of the ones we accused of not paying?
I think so, yeah.
Well, now you've got a high-paying job, buddy.
Yeah. Flip a couple strips my way.
Well, I'd love to know if it's going to be a Benihana or perhaps a Sakura or
I think if we just accuse him of more stuff, he'll just keep working hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Flip some of those little shrimp pieces our way, buddy.
dude. Be cool to have like a 3D movie with that shit.
Whoa.
Fucking shit.
Benihana 3D.
Yeah.
Benihana 3D.
Be cool, right?
Yeah.
Benihana 3D.
Whoa.
Whoa. You know what I was thinking about today was if you were given stuff, for Captain Steve Rogers to Captain America.
Yeah.
If you were giving stuff for like if we were giving him stuff to put on his list.
Oh, yeah.
You're like Taboo 2, dude. That's all you need, man.
Yeah, you skip the first.
Just go straight to Taboo 2.
Yeah.
It's just like Paul. It's a good film. It's a good film. Curtis Stevens, good director.
Steve would not like Taboo, too.
You don't think so?
No.
Why?
He's not into that sort of thing, man.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
I don't know. He was kind of having a taboo thing sort of with Sharon and her fucking aunt there.
What's taboo about that?
That was kinky.
Yeah.
He'd probably fucking love it. Take that back.
Okay.
He'd rather hang out with his boys. He'd probably be in the Gay Vengers.
Oh, God, I hope so.
Yeah. Be pretty cool. Gentlemen, we got the Patreon over there, $5 a month, extra show per week.
Yeah.
Real good times.
And if you listen long enough, we might accuse you of not paying us.
Yeah, if you listen,
Those are our best fans.
You two
I
can
know,
stand
yeah.
it against.
yeah. Also, Colin Walker pointed out that the guy I was talking about at the very end of the last episode
Uh-oh.
that did all the eating was Diamond Jim.
And Jim Brady.
That Matt covered in a Patreon like years ago.
No shit.
Yeah, and I was like, this is bound to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't extensively cover it. Otherwise, I think you would have been like, hey, that's Diamond Jim. I talked about
Well,
him.
if you had said his name, I would have.
That's true. I didn't say his name.
No.
Yeah. But yeah.
He's no Terrere.
No, he's no Terrere. No.
Oh, who's Terrere? We should do a profile on him. 251. That's his.
251, episode 251.
These are just the regulars, not the.
For those of you keeping score at home.
Yeah.
So many Patreon ones.
Yeah, I believe that was from, he said Patreon like fucking 15 or
Yeah,
30.
that's an early one.
That's an early
Yeah.
boy. Well, Matt, you got something for us today. I'm excited
do,
about
boys.
that.
Oh boy.
I do. I'll take you back. This is a story I found while I was at a used bookstore looking for a
Porno.
other book. And then I just saw this on the ground and I said, oh, that seems interesting.
It's on the ground.
Yeah. it's
Sort of the best books are.
It's one of those bookstores where there's just
Is it
books
like
everywhere.
It's a Ross.
Yeah.
Read for less.
Not read for nothing. That's a library.
We're going to go back to 1908, Chicago.
Okay.
It's the first ward ball. Now, this originally had been held for Lame Jimmy, a violinist who had hurt himself, and in the 1870s, they would have a ball every year to raise money for him. And of
Lame
course,
Jimmy, let's get him fiddling again.
The first word, what'd you say?
Ward.
Ward. First ward.
First ward ball.
Got it.
And Lame Jimmy, who loved the name.
That's how it had started out. It had started out as to raise money for him.
Lame.
And then at some point in the 1870s, one cop was there drunk with his brother and challenged him to shoot down the chandelier, and he did.
Good.
And upon hearing this, another cop ran in, and there was a whole fisticuffs. They went out on the streets and shot each other, and one of the brothers was killed.
Good guys.
Good cops.
guys.
Solid cops.
But it didn't stop the party.
Jesus
No.
Christ. That's so sad.
So every year,
One cop dead. And
Every
party's
year.
barely just begun.
yeah, another party every year. And by, the power brokers of the city would be there. And this year in 1908, all of the hottest people were there. Frankie Wright, the madam of the library, they called her that because she kept 6 unread books on her shelf. And
Oh, wow, that's funny.
all of the whores, all of the pimps. There was Big Jim Colosimo. He was there.
Of course.
Yes.
White slaver Maurice Van Beaver.
Maurice Van Beaver was the.
Maurice Van Bever, Beaver.
No,
yeah, I
we'll
like
stick with Beaver.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
got Polacks. I got Norwegians. Even Denmark.
Mainly Polacks.
You can trick them in a van, no problem.
They'll screw in anything.
Big Jim's wife was there, Victoria, and his bodyguard, Terrible Johnny Torrio. And there was, of course, there was the Alderman Hinky Dink, Kenna,
Hinky dink.
Bathhouse Jim, the other alderman.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
That guy hangs around a lot.
Yeah. Let's it all hang out.
Good guy.
Bathhouse Jim.
Bathhouse Jim.
Alderman.
Yeah, come see me at the office.
Hey, come see me at the orifice. Office.
And they were in the Coliseum in Chicago, 30,000 people crammed into a venue built for 15.
Oh, God.
It was hot. It was
like
sweaty.
one of them bathhouses.
Yeah, there was, at some places, beer up to the ankles.
Ew. I think that's piss. Is that piss?
Women passing out and then their bodies just being picked up and carried out.
Get her out of here. She's no fun no more.
Send one more to the brothel lady. She's good to go, pal.
Yeah, that's how they end up the white slaver against the wall.
Well, we'll get to that. There was one woman dressed as a 5-year-old boy with a sand shovel and pail, drinking champagne.
That's like Taboo's 8.
Yeah.
Men grabbed women, got stabbed with hat pins. There was a harlot with a whip who would whip people who came near her.
Meow.
Wow. You didn't even get to this stuff till Taboo 8.
Skip it right ahead.
And then they showed up. These 2 sisters. Their carriage showed up, and everybody said, "They're here! They're here!"
Uh-oh.
The crowd parted, and their carriage pulled up and covered in all of these flowers and harlots.
The fucking ankle-deep sea of piss and beer parted.
Yeah.
Like the Red Sea.
Moises. And they walked in, and the band struck up their tune. Stay in Your Own Backyard, it was called. And then they took Hinky Dink. Hinky Dink took each of them, one in each arm. Crowd parted and let them stroll through to their booth. And at the booth, they spent $50 an hour on champagne, pouring it into shoes, and men drinking it out of the shoes.
That's good. You like that.
People passing out left and right.
All for little lame Jimmy.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Originally.
Not anymore.
Now it's just a...
That's just a good place to shoot cops.
Yeah. Chicago.
Because the power they had, Chicago had a red light district, most cities did. And not every house was great. But there was one house that was the best brothel in the history of America.
Huh. Sounds good.
Yes. And that's why today, boys, I'm bringing you the story of the Everleigh Club and the Everleigh sisters.
Oh.
And also what brought them down.
Ooh. Yeah. Probably got.
Playing around too much in their own backyard. Catching a frisbee.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody needs to clean up the floor and the shoes.
Yeah, people were there until 6 in the morning.
Yeah. Good
No
God.
more night for you boys.
Yeah, it was the last party, the last good first ward ball,
Okay.
because things were changing in America.
You could say that
Ooh.
again.
Now, in America in this time, that was 1908. There had been red light districts throughout every city in America. And sometimes this caused problems. In the 1800s, there was a riot in New York that burned down a lot of them.
Ooh.
And often, as the country grew and as women wanted to and needed to work, they would leave home to places where jobs were.
Sure.
But not everybody could be a receptionist or the
School
a
marm.
clerk or so it's sometimes, you needed work. Maybe you find a sporting house, they called it. And or maybe you're forced into one.
Sure.
Because you owe money or you
Met
got
white
drugged.
slavery
or-
Jim Beaver.
Yeah, Van Beaver.
and
Boy, it
and
was good sport.
maybe you were an immigrant, you came over and you needed money to send money home, or you came here, you didn't know anybody, didn't speak the language,
Sure.
but you can fuck.
Anybody can.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what's great about the
Even
democracy.
little lame Jimmy. Little his legs just wriggling over that little wicker chair. I got dreams.
But at the same time, while all this is happening, there's the public are saying, well, their women are being the ones who choose to be prostitutes, they're the devil, and then the ones who are tricked into it by other devils. So even if you want to do it, you can't. You're not allowed to, and
Bullshit.
there's nothing else for you to do. And as immigrants came over, they would take these jobs too, and there wasn't a correlation of being an immigrant and working in a brothel. But they did find in 1895 survey in New York, 2,000 prostitutes, in 58, 35% were Irish.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. We know how to party. But also, you go where the work is.
Yes.
No matter what it is.
Yeah, 30% of prostitutes were foreign-born. In another poll, and 40% of New York at that time were immigrants.
Yeah, so it's right along with the demo.
Commensurate.
But
Very good.
also, it's very easy to paint them as evil because they're immigrants, and also as it would come up a lot that the Jews are responsible for making them.
Of course. Us good Irish
Yes.
Catholics.
Yes.
Yeah, we fell under the sway of,
Yes.
of the great...
The Jews tricked the Irish into fucking so much.
Jesus Christ, we used to be awful fucking...
But then that fucking Shylock came over and he told me the ways of the jiggling of the balls and the cradling of the clit. And now there's 15 fucking million of us in New York.
Yeah. And they're having a grand time.
Can you believe that? It took us to the Jews to teach the Irish how to fuck.
And this is from a National Institute of Health manuscript about white slavery and venereal disease and whorehouses. And they wrote that placing the blame on foreigners appears consistent with the social need of native-born Protestant elites to see prostitution as something coming from the outside, something that our women would never be engaged in.
Yeah, right, dude.
Yeah.
So all of these competing forces are going to be coming up. But before we get to that, let's get back to the Everleigh sisters.
Okay.
Or Everleigh sisters.
Oh.
Now, their early history, their family immigrated to Virginia from County Donegal in 1661.
It's my grandmother's country.
Their father was born in 1834. One of 8 children, he became a lawyer, married his first cousin.
Good guy.
Yeah, keeping the family.
Smart. Taboo 2.
Ada, one of the sisters, she was born in 1864, and Minna, her other sister, 1866. They were inseparable, preferring each other's company to anyone else's, even men. 10 years later, their mother and sister died. Shortly after that, their younger brother was handed over to an aunt because they couldn't afford to take care of him. 4 years later, their oldest sister died. And their family lost most of their money as a result of the Civil War. They lost their plantation. They couldn't pay for it.
Oh, no.
Their father set them up as prostitutes, and
They lost their money as a result of the United States Civil War?
Yes.
Were they plantation owners?
Yeah. I mean, they lived in Virginia.
So they were slaving.
They had. I don't know if they actually had slaves.
I don't know. The dad
probably
turned pretty quick into pimping out his own daughter.
They probably did. I think it's easy to assume they did. I can't remember.
The fellas work for free. Why can't you?
Jesus Christ.
I call them fellas.
Jesus.
It did come up a lot in the Willy Wonka episode, you know.
Oh, I thought you said Willy Wonka.
In the Willy Wonka, yeah, the new show.
Yeah, that Willy Wonka episode. Yeah, I know.
What are you talking about?
He said
William Walker, the slavery talk.
Oh, I think you were saying Willy Wonka.
That's what I thought he said.
I still kept hearing it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, you know, I'll keep going, I guess.
Now, Willy Wonka was also a slaver. But
Yes, that's true.
That's true.
That's true, but it was okay because they're cute.
He characterized
They sang a lot,
him
which
as a liberator, though, and
Yeah.
are grateful to me.
Hopefully they address it in the new show.
Yeah.
So the sisters were pimped out a little bit, and then they left to go and work on a stage show, a traveling stage show, and they ended up in Omaha, Nebraska. In Omaha, they find that the women of the city look down upon them because they're actors.
Oh,
Stage people are not held in good standing among the townsfolk.
still aren't.
And so in 1885, age 31 and 29 then, the sisters concocted an idea. If they couldn't get the women in town to come to their parties, maybe they could get the husbands of those women to come to their parties. And taking a $35,000 quote inheritance, which is probably money from a wealthy backer. They called it inheritance.
Yeah.
They bought a rundown parlor in Omaha, went about redecorating, posed for Victorian-style portraits of themselves, and set up a brothel.
Yeah, why not?
Let's go.
What do you need? 4 walls,
in
couple of...
Omaha.
Mm-hmm. There's a red light district everywhere.
Fuck.
Hey, man, it's a town.
And so it was going pretty well. 3 years later, in 1898, Omaha had a 5-month exhibition called the Trans-Mississippi Exposition.
Oh my God.
Back then.
Yeah, I know. Pretty woke.
Pretty well. pretty cool brothel.
Man.
So what the sisters did is they rented out a building downtown and set up a brothel for the fairgoers.
Sure, the newcomers need to fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Try some of that sweet Nebraska corn husker twat.
Yeah.
And by the end of the fair, after those 5 months, they had doubled their $35,000.
Wow.
And they decided, well, Omaha's been nice, but maybe we should upgrade our shop and our city.
Yeah.
Chi-Town.
Yes.
Windy City.
Well, so they didn't initially choose Chicago. What they did is they went on a tour of the brothels of America.
Yeah.
To figure out what worked, what didn't work, and maybe get some ideas.
You gotta fuck the guys.
There was they went to
Gary, Indiana.
They went to Frisco, Tessie Wall, San Francisco. It was that was a popular ones in brothel there. It was too old school for the sisters' style though. And they found that
I don't know what that means.
They found the owner was quite depressing. It was too philosophical.
Well, they just came from the Trans-Mississippi.
Yeah.
And what they mean by old school is the treatment of the women. And if anyone got out of line, there was someone who was hired to work over the women.
Jesus Christ.
Then they can't earn.
No. Unless you like that sort of thing.
Matt.
Frisco Tessie said, "A drunk is no good as a whore. You can't hide her breath and she doesn't do her work in style. Hookers are mean but sentimental. They cry over dogs, kittens, kids, novels, and songs. Never cared much for a girl who came to work in a house because it was fun for her. There was a screw loose somewhere."
Oh.
So yeah, that was her. That was, it takes any kind to own a place like that.
Yeah.
There was also Big Matilda.
Big Matilda.
Now she ran her own house with just her.
She was that big.
She had a card that she would hand out called Big Matilda, 300 pounds of black passion, hours, all hours, rates 50 cents, 3 for $1.
Oh, did she have like a stamp card, like a Subway thing? She punched a hole in it?
Yeah, like Quiznos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jiznos.
Dude, what the fuck, dude? Wow.
Dude, 300 pounds of black
black
passion? You couldn't handle
You'd be
that
so
shit,
lucky.
dude.
Me?
You couldn't handle
I
it.
could.
No, you couldn't.
I could.
You'd lose the card. You'd be like, I swear I had 4 punches on the card. Miss Matilda, Large Marge sent me too.
Don't lie to me, boy.
Okay. Please piss on me.
That's me too.
Yeah, it's you too. Here, I've got a shoe. Would you put some of your sweet black champagne in my shoe so I could drink it? I drink it right up.
What's that smell?
They're my Adidas, miss. Adidas with your sweet black passion champagne.
They went to New Orleans, where they found Belle Anderson's Mirrored Rooms, Storyville District, it was called, the area. Expert dancers, Madame Lulu White's opulent bordello in the corner. They had, those days the city would have a blue book where you could, you buy the book and you get to
You get to lay the land.
Car prices.
Yeah.
in New York City, there was the Tenderloin District was, and there'd be one. There was Madame Rosie Hertz who ran multiple houses there.
Nice.
Lucky Warren ruled Cincinnati. Annie Chambers, she had Kansas City.
Huh.
Minnie Stevens in Boston. Belle Stewart in Pittsburgh. So a lot of female-owned businesses here.
They're the first female-owned businesses in this country.
And in Washington, D.C., Madame Maitland operated a brick house on D Street. The women with her were boarders.
Cause she's a brick.
And she welcomed the Everleighs in, and they were talking about their ideas, and she said, you guys gotta go to Chicago. I know someone there who has this place, and they're getting out.
Oh.
I just love the business meeting of talking about whorehouses,
Yeah.
like Change Bank.
Yeah.
Like, we'll build a building, and in that building, we'll have rooms.
Yeah.
And in those rooms, we'll charge men to have sex with women.
Yeah.
And then women will get paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
And the men will ejaculate and leave.
Yeah.
And
The house will take a cut from the women.
and the women will be happy.
Yeah.
Some of these women will leave or disappear.
Yeah.
We'll replace them with a new batch of newcomers, mainly Polacks.
So the sisters traveled. They took the train to Chicago, to the Levee District. And because that's where the red light district was at the time.
Okay.
And they stopped at 2131-2133 South Dearborn Street.
Nice.
And there was a stone mansion, 2 mahogany staircases spiraling upward, windows dotting the facade, and strips of molding curved like haughty frowns. This is my main source is Karen Abbott's book, Sin in the Second City.
Thanks, Karen.
Thanks, Kara.
And the woman who owned it, she owned both buildings, but she was only using one. And but she said she wanted to get out, and the sisters could rent to own.
Nice.
And so I'll show you a little picture of the front, and all of these pictures I will remember, or will be on the Patreon, of course.
Oh, yes.
Looks like a wonderful building.
Isn't that lovely?
Look at that! You could be a whore in every window.
I know.
Maybe 2.
Now, when they combined those buildings, they got 30 boudoirs out of it.
Oh.
30.
And each of them was going to be a different style.
Nice. Like the Madonna Inn.
Mm-hmm. And they weren't familiar with the district in Chicago, but they soon learned a lot about the Levee District area. After the Great Fire had destroyed much of the city.
Now, that was what, 1871?
1871, yes. And so the city was reworked after that, and the red light district settled in the Levee area. Now, there in the Levee district was there's Little Cheyenne, where a 6 foot, 220 pound black woman named Hattie Briggs was in charge. Hattie,
Not big enough for John. John need.
You said I couldn't handle it before.
Well, I was wrong. You proved me wrong. You need a whole lot of black passion.
Okay, thank you.
if Hattie ever had a problem with a man in her business, she would pick him up and slam his head against the wall until he passed out.
Wow.
Yeah.
John, I think you might have found your match.
I can't get to sleep any other way.
Now there were the Sporting and Club House directory said there are French houses, but they said we don't want to. Everybody knows what a French house is.
Yeah, we get it.
There were colored houses. Black madams named Vina Fields had blonde-haired black women.
Oh my God.
Nice.
And there's also Madame Lillian Richardson. She emphasized that her brothel was, quote, the least public colored house in the city.
The least public.
Yes. The most private.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
That's what you want.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you wanna you don't want everybody traipsing through there. You
Yeah.
know?
You don't want some place I could go to.
Right. Just fucking a silhouette of your face up against the wall like Roger Rabbit ran through it. Say.
There was Carrie Watson's place, where Carrie Watson was famous because she had a parrot that would, when you entered, it would say, Carrie Watson, come in, gentlemen.
Oh, I thought it might say something racist.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I thought I was going to say sex shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool too.
Read me.
I'm the last of my kind, Squawk.
Shoot her all over me. This is your pussy. This is your pussy.
Take it.
And
I'm sorry I made a mess.
and also on State Street, there was State Street was known as Satan's Mile, not far from Levy District. There was Kitty Adams and her partner Jenny Clark were known for just beating up random men and stealing their money.
Yeah. Some guys like that, John.
Love it.
And when they were arrested one time for this, the judge, he acquitted them, and he said it was because any man who was down there got what he deserved.
You forgot to punch my card. Spits teeth out onto sidewalk.
You punched my face instead of my card.
You stupid bitch. Oh.
There's an area called the Custom House Place near the World's Fair, and that was famous for for their panel, what they called panel houses, which is when one woman would be pleasuring a man, another woman would reach through the wall and steal his wallet.
That's
like,
cool.
Like the world's worst glory hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And fucked both ways.
Yeah. That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say they reached out and started jacking the guy off. Or that'd be cool. You're like, holy shit, the wall's fucking me.
Whoa.
And there were also, terrible places.
What?
Like number 144 Custom House. And so this is from Abbott. And,
Doesn't sound so bad.
A trigger warning for just something really bad. Operated by Madame Henry Hastings, one of the pioneers of what was known in Europe and soon in America as, quote, white slavery. During frequent trips to neighboring cities, she extolled the virtues of Chicago, high-paying jobs, returning with gullible young girls aged 13 to 17. She took the girls' clothing, locked them in a room with 6 professional rapists.
What?
Oh, my God. Professional?
Yeah.
Card carrying?
Who made that a profession?
Where's the ARA, the American Rapist Association, giving out? I haven't paid my dues.
Oh, my
in a
God.
while, so.
Dude.
Professional rapists.
Yep.
And is there more to that?
And then she would sell the girls to houses.
So the locking them in a room with professional rapists was to like breaking a stallion?
Yeah.
Oof. Man, that's rough.
I don't know what the trigger warning was for, but.
Shut up.
What?
Shut up.
I want the stallion.
Oh, my God.
And so after the World's Fair, the mayor had ordered, a lot of the houses to kind of
take it easy.
Yeah, locate to a less public location. And so the Everleighs, they started learning about the city, and they figured they wanted to do something. They didn't want any pimps. They said, we want women to want to work here. We want the best women.
Yes.
Only the best.
And
Classy broads.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a rule. They said no knockout powders, no thieving, no drugs, because there would be a thing that in some houses, while the man was drinking, the one of the girls might
Dose him.
put a drop of morphine in there.
Yeah.
God, man.
Killing.
Only wish.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yo, this place has morphine.
You don't have to pay. Plus, they suck your cock.
You want to lose 3 days?
Yeah.
Go down to custom 144.
And so the sisters, they after their trip to Chicago, they said, an amusing city, Chicago, any way you look at it. I'm afraid we are in for the time of our lives.
I guess.
And so they get the Dearborn spot. It's $20,000 up front, and the remaining $35,000 over the course of 6 months.
That's a lot of money.
It's about $2 million today.
Fuck.
But eventually, at their height, they would be making $120,000 a year, about $4 million today.
Good God Almighty. Just them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like not the girls working for them.
No, but they would also make a substantial sum.
Loads.
And so after they got the place and decorated it up, they then got their girls. And so Ada was in charge of she was in charge of talking with them and recruiting. And so she notified harlots from her brothels in Omaha. And once that went out, then word started spreading. Like, if you're a good whore, you gotta come here.
You gotta come on down.
And so Ada explained, she said, I talk with each applicant myself. She must have worked somewhere else before coming here. We do not like amateurs. Inexperienced girls and young widows are too prone to accept offers of marriage and leave. We always have a waiting list. To get in, a girl must have a pretty face and figure, must be in perfect health, must look well in evening clothes. If she is addicted to drugs or drink, we do not want her. There's no problem keeping the club filled.
Nice.
So then they would measure the girls and check for needle tracks. Ooh. And then they would send them to Minna for instructions and lessons. And so she would tell them how to treat the men when they came in. Bring them to we have a dining room. Bring them in, let them eat. There is gambling, but the gambling doesn't go all night because the men will just gamble and not fuck.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah.
And she said, do not rush the man. Let him work through his fantasies first. Flirtations and banter could begin in any of the parlors, but you have to have a deft touch when you bring the man upstairs.
That's right. This is good.
Settle
good
down.
Notes.
The girls were forbidden from wearing tawdry negligees. They had to dress elegantly.
Yes. That's what I've been
Elegant,
saying this whole time.
full length evening gowns, and all of the jewelry they owned, as long as it wasn't gaudy.
None of that tacky shit you like.
Stop putting everything on me. What the fuck did I do?
Chunky jewelry from Chico's or some
I
shit.
don't like fucking jewelry at all.
The girls were taught poetry of Arthur Symons and Ernest Dowson and Longfellow.
Longfellow.
And they would there was a fireplace, and famous they encouraged famous authors to stop by.
Come on. James Joyce.
Come on, James Joyce.
Yeah, we got a fart room here for you, pal. A whole room full of farts. We actually
It's the fart gallery.
We make the girls go in the room to fart.
Yeah. Then we shut it up.
Yeah, and then we blindfold you,
And you
and you have to figure out who's who.
Yeah. And then write about it.
Yeah, in some new modern bullshit kind of way.
So then the sisters went. They hired a black staff, and then they went about and they bought they got a doctor for regular examinations.
Very good.
And they bought a solid gold piano.
Solid gold?
It was for $550,000.
Fuck.
In today's money, it was $15,000 back then, but still.
That's
Yeah, wouldn't it fucking go through the floorboards?
not at this place.
No.
Look at this place built like a brick shit house, man.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And then they had to. They hired a piano player. They had auditions, and this one man showed up. His name was Vanderpool.
Good guy. Yeah.
Solid guy.
Yeah.
He knew
The guy's so nice they named him twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the piano players would be called professors.
Ah.
So he's Professor Vanderpool or Van.
Wait, Vanderpool was the piano player?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And they hired him because he immediately knew all the songs. They just shouted out.
He's probably shooting some fucking Peter North loads.
Oh, that's how he's playing the keys.
Vanderpool.
And so then they were not the Everleigh sisters yet, or Everleigh sisters yet. So they decided to take that name up because their grandmother she would sign her letters Everleigh yours. Oh. And so they figured it'd be a good little play on words.
Uh-huh.
And then the people would say, I'm getting Everleigh tonight.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so then they set upon making, all the rules for the house, which were breakfast was served at 2 p.m.
Wow.
And there would be a glass of clam juice, side of aspirin.
Yay.
But if you wanted to eat, there was eggs, kidney sauté, clam cakes with bacon, planked whitefish, breast of chicken with ham under glass, buttered toast, Turkish coffee.
That sounds good.
The girls were encouraged to eat baked apples, applesauce, sliced oranges,
Yeah.
and drink iced canned tomatoes.
Iced canned tomatoes?
Yes, because there was belief that they would keep your hair soft and your skin wrinkle-free.
And make your twat
Weird.
smell nice.
Oh my God.
At 6 p.m., the harlots would eat again.
The harlots.
And then after that, they would primp and polish and get ready for the night.
They should team up with the coolies.
Yeah.
Harlots and the coolies.
And they said it was bad luck for a man to come in and leave without spending.
Yeah.
And if that happened, to remove the curse, spit on his back.
Kick him on the ass on the way out.
What if he likes it?
And he's coming
Then
back
he's
for more.
gonna pay, yeah.
Yeah.
Never bring a cat inside. It's bad luck. Setting wine on a sidewalk or straightening a parlor mirror will make the men come running.
Huh.
If the first customer of the night passes over a girl, her luck will be bad for a long time. And when a harlot goes down on a trick, she mustn't swallow. That stuff causes an upset stomach and rotten teeth.
Oh, I don't.
Drink this clam juice and
Yeah.
fucking plank of soul.
I don't like that no swallowing rule, man. I think that's kind of uncool.
Yeah. I think I can make a few amendments to this list.
Yeah.
But it's good that they made a list.
Yes, you have to have a list.
Also, yeah, if you got fucking clam juice breath, don't you want to swallow my load?
Yeah. It's not much worse.
Fuck you.
Chug it down with some of that tomato juice. You got a fucking michelada going, buddy.
Yeah, my sperm, clam juice, and an iced fucking canned tomato.
And so in every parlor there would be cigars and cigarettes and bonbons and fruits and salted pecans and liqueurs. And they would be available all night long.
Underbergs.
Yes, Underberg.
Let's get this party started.
Kick it!
How do you think they got the gold piano?
Yeah, exactly.
And it would be when you paid, usually by check.
Check?
It would be endorsed by the Utopia Novelty Company. That was their...
It's a good name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was $12 for a bottle of wine. And beer and hard liquor not available at any price.
This is a classy establishment.
Yeah.
Beer and hard liquor not available at any price.
Yes.
It's not just wine, baby. And liqueurs.
And while a member was being serviced, a servant would press their suit.
Oh, my God.
That's kind of lovely.
Yeah.
Now, what was the address?
Man, you go out looking like $1 million, feeling like $1 million. Like, I mean, that's real service,
Yeah.
man.
Mhm.
I mean, even if they don't swallow. Mm-hmm.
At least my suit's getting pressed.
Yeah.
On February 1st, 1900, they opened for the first time. The first night they made $1,000, about $36,500 today. All the girls would earn $100 a week. It's about $3.6 thousand a week.
Nice.
About $190,000 a year today. Actors at the time, they made $40 a week.
Yeah.
Damn.
Fucking losers. They didn't really want actors in. They didn't pay their...
Fucking chumps. Yeah. Who
Join
am
a
I?
union.
Fucking playing pretend and shit. Fuck out of here.
I'm pretending to like this guy's hog. How's that for action?
Yeah. Hey, check this out. I gotta fucking take this guy's load in my mouth and run downstairs and spit it on some guy that didn't pay.
Yeah. You got that in your script?
For good luck. Imagine somebody just a full load in their mouth. They point to whoever didn't pay. One of the girls comes down full cheeks.
Look, I'm a zit.
Get it? And the women they hired had names like Belle Schreiber, Lillian St. Clair, Bessie Wallace, Virginia Bond, Jew Bertha Morrison.
Jew Bertha Morrison?
Big Diamond was one. She had diamonds everywhere. She wore her diamonds over her whole body.
Sounds like a pimp. I'm Big Diamond.
And over the course, well, I'll save that for the end, I guess.
Interesting.
So
Intriguing.
inside the club, there were 30 different places you could fuck, and they all had their own theme.
Pee-wee's Playhouse, Pee-wee's Playhouse, Pee-wee's.
Janitor closet. Janitor closet.
Latrine. Fart box.
30 this is from Abbott. 30 boudoirs, each with a mirrored ceiling and marble inlaid brass bed. Private bathroom and a tub laced in gold detailing. Imported oil paintings. Hidden buttons that rang for champagne.
Hidden.
They eat in the glorious Pullman buffet was one of their rooms.
Ooh.
Southern cuisine, creations of the club's a nationally renowned head chef. There would be there was a library filled floor to ceiling with classics, literature, poetry, and philosophy. In the art room, housing a few bona fide masterworks and a reproduction of Bernini's famous Apollo and Daphne. And then there was the ballroom. Towering water fountain, parquet floor arranged in intricate mosaic patterns, ceiling that dripped crystal chandeliers. There was gilded fish bowls, 18-karat gold spittoons that cost $650 each.
Some dude paid money to have that dumped on him.
Yeah.
A fountain that at regular intervals fired a jet of perfume into the air.
Oh my gosh.
There's all the soundproof reception parlors, 12 of them. Copper room, walls paneled with hammered brass. The silver room gleams sterling. The blue room offered cerulean leather pillows stamped with images of Gibson girls. The furniture in the gold room was encrusted with gilt. The red room, rose room, and green room, monochromatic splendor. The Moorish room, featuring the obligatory Turkish corner, complete with overstuffed couches and rich sweeping draperies. Japanese parlor, the ornately carved teakwood chair resting upon a dais. Gold silk canopy hovering overhead. The Chicago Tribune wrote that it was, quote, a harlot's dream of what a Japanese palace might look like inside.
Fucking nice.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Probably better than the real thing.
The Egyptian room, a full-sized effigy of Cleopatra, kept a solemn eye on the proceedings. The Chinese room, entirely different from the ambiguously named Oriental room.
Yeah, that's a regular-ass Oriental. This is some Chinese shit over here. Full of coolies.
The Chinese room offered packages of tiny firecrackers, a huge brass beaker from which to shoot them.
Oh, could you guys play some baseball?
It's Cosmo.
Chinese.
And of course, their big gold piano. And so,
That's luxurious.
yes,
Is anything like that exist today?
Aaron, if I knew, I wouldn't be here with you.
Good question. Yeah. I'd be there.
I feel like
I'd be there with Matt.
It's all, what, fucking working?
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd be fucking getting your back spit on the way out.
I mean,
Wow, this place here is really nice. You guys have hot dogs here? That'd be you fucking bums.
what would you be
My mommy said this much to spend.
You'd be fucking pressing the guy's suit and fucking chasing him home.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a cuck.
Yes.
Like Wolfgang cuck.
Yes. Yeah, man, I'm not trying to... Listen, I'm with child, you know. I'm not trying to. I'm just curious if these places like this still.
I love that he goes through this other. You're like, say, where can I find a place like that, Matt?
Boy, it would be. It just sounds like a nice social club.
Yeah.
With the option. With the option.
Yes.
Of some debaucherous lovemaking. But it sounds classy.
Dude, if like you were fucking tearing it up in one of those rooms with just like, you know, somebody who's like not a dummy, hot, pretty, can have a conversation. She's fucking hitting secret bells that bring more champagne. You're slurping that back.
Come on.
You start macking on some titties.
Dude,
I mean, it's a good fucking time.
And then the more
you know I love to mac on titties. You know that about me.
Yeah.
You know that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm mac on them forever.
You're a regular milk dud.
Yeah.
Regular milk. That sounds insulting.
Yeah.
John would be like, do you have any titties filled with formula?
Yeah. Something tastes wrong, lady. Milk's gone bad.
I'm a Similac kid.
So,
I want some aspartame.
So some of the guests that showed up were Ring Lardner, George Ade, Percy Hammond, Eggerly Masters, Theodore Dreiser. He came and listened and recited poetry.
Yes.
Imagine if you could go to the Magic Castle.
Yes. And also get blown.
And then after a magic trick, you make a fucking your nuts disappear.
Yeah. And they end up on the back of some guy leaving who didn't pay.
He goes, "This your load? hey, this guy's good.
What the fuck?
This is my load."
And there'd be nights where you'd show up and it'd be the night where the butterflies, as Mina called them, or Ada called them, would recite poetry. So they would be drinking champagne and read poetry, and you could sit there and
listen to
cool.
the flutters by.
And sports stars showed up. Celebrities like John Barrymore, a circus star named Great Fiolesso, gambling virtuosos. Benimillion Gates was one of them. They didn't like him that much because he ridiculed the quote attempts at sophisticated discourse. That, he joked to the sisters, is educating the wrong end of a whore.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Did Shoeless Joe go?
Came with the shoes on.
I'm serious. Like,
No, he didn't.
yeah.
No,
It's around that time.
Yeah.
No, he was
Too busy at gambling.
Yeah, he was too uptight to do that sort of thing, I feel like.
Can we pause for 1 second?
Yes.
Are you I don't know if hearing that like kind of rotary sound. It's like a.
Just the AC, or there's that fan.
No, that's not on.
That's all.
Oh,
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
might be my vibrator.
That's probably what it is. Or what's that thing
Are
that
you cheating at chess again?
control remotely?
Oh yeah, my cock cage. My cock cage is acting up.
No. The other one. The thing is like you've put it inside you and some.
Butt plug.
No.
Anal beads.
Some guy controls it like with the app and stuff.
You can do that with all those things.
Well, okay, man. You're fucking super evolved. Okay.
Yeah.
And shortly, so they would also, they would upgrade it every year, $18,000 a year for renovations. And then not long after they opened, just a couple years after they opened. Well, actually, I'll get to that in a sec. So part of also dealing with and opening this house. Now, it wasn't necessarily legal, but it wasn't necessarily illegal.
Yes.
A lot of cops enjoyed going there. A lot of reporters too.
Yeah.
And but part of dealing and operating these houses was also you couldn't do it without being involved with the aldermans and the mob.
Yes.
And so one of the mobsters was a man named Ike Bloom. He was Big Jim's partner. He ran what he called a quote dance academy.
Oh.
Which was just a bar that people danced at, and he didn't sell liquor. He sold honey.
Oh, it's good. Local.
Yeah. And so you would go up and you would say, "Can I get that brown honey?"
Yeah.
And it was bottles of booze labeled honey, and even the fake labels, sometimes they also held fake booze in the bottles. It was just colored water.
Wow.
But he was so powerful that his portrait hung in the police station.
Oh my God. That's a nightmare.
The Everleighs paid him $10,000 a year, about $366,000 today for
Protection.
Just to be allowed to operate.
And does that also mean that people can't act up there? Like, do they have security?
They don't have they have servants, but
A lot of times
security is not far away if they need it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I feel like they're screening their admissions.
Yeah.
Yes,
A
yes,
lot of times,
absolutely, yes.
just good standards
Yeah.
precludes the need for security.
Yes, they had there were types they wouldn't allow.
Name them.
Actors.
How about comedians?
Anybody who wasn't well dressed.
Yeah.
If they didn't seem like they could pay, they didn't get through the door.
Profiling.
So they dealt with Ike Bloom, and his partner was Big Jim. And like Minna, he wore a diamond on every finger. And when the sisters inquired about protection payments, Big Jim would show up at their place. And he would, when he, they would go, well, what about this? They're asking, he would show up to kind of soothe them if they had any issues. He would show up with boxes of spaghetti under each arm.
Oh, boxes of spaghetti.
And a bag of grated Parmesan in his pocket, a jar of red sauce in his hands, and he'd storm into the kitchen, and he would make them dinner. And
I'm gonna make everybody a nice sauce.
And then
Pocket full of cheese, literally.
pocket full of cheese. And
This isn't Parmesan. This is something else.
We have to eat it.
but above those, so those were the gangsters, but above them were the legitimate gangsters. The aldermen, Michael Hinky Dink Kenna and Bathhouse John Coughlin. Now, Bathhouse got his name because when he was a kid, he worked in a Turkish bathhouse.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, he almost worked at the fucking Yoo-hoo room where we're at. He had his own.
Yeah.
What?
He almost worked at the whorehouse.
Oh yeah.
He had a long apprenticeship at the bathhouse.
For sure,
Why
yeah.
not get his own boudoir at the fucking
incredible
Everleigh Club?
Incredible skin on that guy.
Oh, God.
Just clear pores.
Sweat.
And those guys, Hinky Dink came up with Chicago's then plan of what they did is 50 cents per vote.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That was his idea. And
To the person trying to throw the vote?
no, if you wanted to vote.
Oh, if you wanted to vote, you just got to pay.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So, you get one, you just, an alderman goes out there, he's like, here's $100. Get all these guys voting as many times as possible.
Oh my God.
So as long as you kept those guys happy, you were fine.
Yeah.
And at the time, the mayor it was just kind of like,
Is it a daily?
no.
Not yet.
No, very much not yet. He was kind of like, well, just stay over there, don't cause any problems. That was basically it. And
Was it Stay in Your Own Backyard? Was that the song they liked?
that was their song, yeah.
Yeah.
But things are going pretty well. They're immediately the classiest joint in town. Mm-hmm. Uprooting this woman, Vic Shaw was the name of the woman who ran the previous number one.
Sorry,
and Vic
man.
Shaw was not a big fan of them.
No.
For usurping her spot. And she was a large woman who wore her tits out. Not like fully out, but
Nice.
Yeah.
She smushed him up.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
And things were going pretty well. In fact, the place immediately became famous. And in March 2nd, 1902, they got a prince in town. Prince Henry.
Oh
Henri?
my gosh.
With his German entourage. And he showed up. They had a giant... he walks in with his entourage.
He's a German prince.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Because the British royal family is also all German.
yeah,
That's why I asked.
fair, yes. and they bring him in and they sit him down, and as he sits down, the harlots all come in, and they do a dance number, and then one of them runs up and dances and does a pirouette and lands on his lap,
Whoops.
and that's their big welcome for him. Then they have dinner, and as they're having dinner,
He busts.
As they're having dinner, right before dinner, there's another show, part 2, where the cook brings out uncooked pieces of meat, and the girls run up and tear it apart and get blood all over themselves.
Oh my dear God.
And the Germans they thought it was amazing.
Mein Gott!
The Germans love a good number 2 show.
Ausgezeichnet!
And then Minna served dinner and then gave a tour of the place, and each room was a harlot. posing for him.
It's still covered in blood.
Yeah.
And
Say, where them bloody dames at?
and then brought him back down for the last show, which was one of their girls was really good at kicking and dancing, and
Kick
so
him in the balls over
Yeah.
and over and over.
Yeah.
and as they were toasting with champagne while she was kicking, one of her shoes flipped off and hit a bottle of champagne, and some of the champagne spilled into the shoe, and one of the German men picked up the shoe
And drank
and then
glass?
drank the champagne out
Oh
of
my
it.
God.
And so he called it bootlicker, and then they all did it.
Eine Bootlicker!
Das Boot!
So all of the harlots then ran up to a guy, and he took off their shoe, poured champagne in, and they all drank out of it.
God.
Sadly, 4 men died that night.
And so that became a very,
Disgusting pastime.
yes, but
Yeah.
also that just his visit there became
It was a
famous.
celebrated good times we had.
The idea of mouth kissing one of these girls is less disgusting to me than drinking champagne out of their fucking boot.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they don't even swallow.
Who knows what their feet do?
Yeah. I'll fucking make out with them all day.
But around this time, so that was 1902. In early 1900s, there's this movement, religious movement, that is picking up speed about our women are being turned into prostitutes. And so there was a reverend named Ernest Albert Bell.
Our women are being turned into prostitutes?
Yeah, they would say, your daughter's gonna, 60,000 women a year are thrown into prostitution.
Yeah, are thrown into their own livelihood and pay their own bills.
Living in the lap of luxury,
Yeah,
eating the finest meals.
Yeah, not under the yoke of some brutalizing man.
Why would you have them do that when they could be tied to a loom?
Yeah, petrified of their spouse's oncoming arrival from work, full of liquor and violence.
And so there's this one man who, his name was Reverend Albert Bell. And when he was in India studying, he got spooked by a woman came up to him and asked him if he needed something, and he'd never realized that there were prostitutes before, apparently, because when he realized that this woman was offering to fuck him for money, it just blew his mind, and he freaked out. And he wanted to then become what he called, instead of a preacher, he wanted to become a prophet, where he was going to tell the world about how badly these women are being treated in India.
Uh-huh.
And then he got to Chicago and he said, it'd probably be a lot easier to do it here. But of course, he said the Lord gave him that idea.
Right, of course.
And so what he would start doing is he would start making marches. He would get a group of followers, and they would march down the Levee District that night with candles, and he would preach.
Yeah.
And
Bunch of unfuckable losers.
yeah, and cast blame and say this is Satan's kingdom down here or up here or whatever.
Yeah, it's called Satan's Mile or whatever.
Yeah.
Read the signs.
Hi.
We know.
And he would make it his, that was kind of his cause. And so that is one of the issues that they would have to deal with. And the other one was that, in these houses, famous people show up, and when something bad happens to them, the houses get the blame, of course.
Right.
And so in 1905, Marshall Field Jr., the son of the wealthy businessman in Chicago, Marshall Field, who has a whole giant building in Chicago. There's still the Marshall Building now. Huge building. And one night, Marshall Field arrives home with a bullet wound. And they said the last place he had been was the Everleigh's house. Now, he had been there wasted. Just wasted out of his mind. Went to one bar, got wasted. Went to a brothel, still wasted. Went to another bar, then ended up at the Everleigh Club. And he would slowly die over the next 5 days after he gets home. Paralysis of the bowels, they called it.
Right.
And
He was constipated.
And over the next 30 years, multiple people would claim that they knew the real story of where he was. They heard it from someone who swears they saw him there, or someone knew him there. But basically, the papers all said he was at the Everleigh Club, They said he wasn't. Vic Shaw, their rival, of course, was,
said he was.
He definitely was.
Oh, he was there big time.
I would know.
Yeah,
I was there.
Somebody pushed his shit in.
He loved it.
Vic Shaw told another owner, a man named Pony Moore, that she would pay him $40,000 if he could frame the Everleighs for Marshall Field's murder. Wow. And so Pony called up a girl he knew at the Everleigh Club, but Minna picked up the phone at the same time, listened to the conversation, and called up the cops and just stopped everything in its tracks.
Oh.
And but it's bad news. It's
bad publicity,
It's bad
man.
publicity.
Of course, yes.
The only thing we're shooting here.
Our loads
That's
that
right.
we will never swallow.
That's right.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Mm-hmm. We have gold spittoons for that.
Loads don't enter our bodies. Bullets don't enter yours.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a picture of Bell preaching.
Not interested.
Ernest Albert Bell.
What a loser. What a dildo.
I'll make sure I put that one up too.
Looks like a fucking dork.
And so the sister said he cost them about $250 a night, about $9,000 today.
A night?
Yeah, every time he did that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that it's more than anything. It's about like looky-loos coming, and when you go to Satan's, mile or whatever, you don't expect to see people from church.
Yeah.
And it's a real bummer.
Yeah, you want to go into the Oriental room and then to the Chinese room.
Yeah, bang a gong.
Get it on. For the record, were there any girls named Gong?
No, but there is one story that
you
we
want to
will.
bang a gong.
There's one story we will get to. That involves a name you guys will very much like.
Oh.
And so when Bell's making these, he specifically writes down in his notebook Ada and Minna, targeting them specifically. And one of the things Bell claims is that their club is a den of white slavery. So let me define this for you. So white slavery is a phrase that is not itself racial, but would be used racially, often by white men, describing women being.
Okay, well, describe how first it's not racial.
Because it's
the Man Act, right?
It would become
the Man Act.
But where is it?
We'll say what the Man Act is.
Basically, while Matt's looking that up, transporting a woman across state lines.
Got it.
For the purposes of fuckery.
Right. Human trafficking.
Yeah. So white slavery is sexual slavery. And the phrase itself is not racial, but it'd be usually white men would say like, our white women are being enslaved by black men and Jews.
They made it. They made it so that you'd care about it. They called it white slavery so that you'd give a shit about who's the one being quote unquote victimized.
Right. That's
regular slavery. We're cool with.
Yeah.
White girls.
Yeah.
But
and that's why there's no such thing as white privilege. Because when you say white slavery, white people lose their mind. When you say the words slavery, everybody goes, come on, it's not a big deal.
It was 150 years ago.
Get over it.
And so white slavery, the term itself, also then, because of its usage, it lumps in women who choose the job.
Of course, yes.
And so then they don't even get, whatever power they had to even choose that job, now they're being told that they didn't actually.
Yeah, you're a victim.
Yeah.
You go like, no, I'm an entrepreneur and I get a fair cut. And
just what they want you to think. You've been brainwashed.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Come with us.
And so Bell starts claiming the Everleigh house is a den of white slavery.
Yeah.
And
if that's white slavery, put me in chains, pal. That place looks great.
Jesus Christ.
What?
Take away my ID?
Dude, give me a new name.
And in 1907, the U.S. government starts sending undercover inspectors to red light districts throughout the country.
Yeah, this is going to be a long, deep undercover mission for me. I'm going to have to uproot this whole operation from the inside out.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be Colonel Kurtz in here, baby. Too deep.
Yeah.
He's in too deep, man.
And the Federal Immigration Act of 1907, along with sending those undercover agents in, also forbade importing women into the country for the purposes of prostitution, mandated the deportation of any women or girl found prostituting themselves. And because of this idea of white slavery, now the government is getting involved, and along with that, that is also being pushed by religious factions to get the government more involved. And but the sisters are going, look, we're protected.
The government is involved. We got aldermans, we got councilmen.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And
hinky dinks.
They though the reverend causes them to lose money when he's there, they also get a big influx of people coming in the next day.
Right.
Because they couldn't make it that night because maybe their wife was marching with him or something.
Oh, yeah, yeah. In a way, it's like...
It's advertising.
Yeah.
There's a place called...
Yeah.
What? I never heard of it.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, that's going on?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
It's like Dare.
It's yeah.
I didn't know any of these drugs until Dare came along.
Did I tell you about when I was when I was doing like horror movie stuff? I met up with this movie bootlegger, and he started a legit company where he was getting like foreign movies over here for DVD release, and then being like, now I have a company. I used to be a bootlegger, but now I have a company. But because when I was going to put out one of my movies, he goes, I put out a bootleg to like do like kind of like reverse, kind of like to get hype about it going before the release of the DVD.
Smart.
Yeah, like reverse marketing in a way, you know.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good stuff. But I could see the same effect in that. Like, it's just like, we're going to draw all this attention and say, like, you know, point a finger at somebody, and you're going like, I didn't even know it's called Satan's Mile?
I gotta see this.
I'll be there tomorrow.
And the sisters, you know, things are going pretty well. One of their very wealthy clients, he says, can you do me a favor?
Oh, God. Come on.
He says, there's a place down the street called the Shanghai, and they have a girl that I've heard is the best. And he said, but I don't like going there. That place isn't as good as yours. And
did you Shanghai her?
Yeah.
So one of the sisters...
your joint?
One of the sisters goes down to the Shanghai, and the Shanghai, when you step up to the door, it's a series of like of
trapdoors,
color,
Chinese finger traps,
of like of glass with pictures behind it that are moving, and it's like you're supposed to be entering Shanghai. But a deal is struck to bring the girl over for entertaining this man, and she'll become part of the Everleigh group. And her name is Susie Poontang.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Susie
Poontang?
Is that the origin of Poontang?
I don't know.
Yeah, what came first?
Yeah.
the Susie or the Poontang?
No, yeah, exactly. Susie Poontang?
Uh-huh.
And what was so good about Susie Poontang?
Well, here's her story. She began her career in Shanghai by propositioning from doorways. She didn't need a pimp. She traveled to Singapore and Hong Kong, where she became known for finishing a dance by licking her partner's cheek. One of her partners enticed her to join his opium den brothel in Macau.
Nice.
And she learned how to lay the man down, line up his utensils nearby, a bamboo pipe, a pot stuffed with opium, steel needles used to roast the dung over a lamp's flame, prepare him for what was to come. We've just received a brand new stock of dreams, she'd whisper. Oh. I hope, lover, some of them will please you. And then she would satisfy, he would smoke it, and then she would satisfy him before he finally fully got hit with it.
If you do not smoke this, we have a problem.
Marcella, are you listening? She sets up her lover's utensils.
Yes.
For him.
Yes.
And
Smoke this, man.
then a friend of hers said, you gotta, there's this place called Chicago, there's a place called Shanghai there that's better than any place that we've ever worked at. We gotta go there. And so before she left, Susie Poontang went to Tokyo and commissioned a tattoo artist to ink just below her navel a bouquet of roses, so artfully authentic that one might be tempted to pluck it from her flesh.
Oh, Susie Poontang went to Tokyo, baby. Woo-wee!
And
That is great.
she said that
It's a movie.
renowned Hong Kong art critics paid handsome sums for the privilege of evaluating the masterpiece. For an extra $5, she would recline on a sofa, on a pillow, legs akimbo, and offer a magnifying glass. And let them judge it for themselves.
Oh my God.
What a wonderful bouquet.
Yeah. She lasted at the club a night before she ran off with the rich man. But I guess he liked the bouquet.
I guess he did. Susie Poontang.
Where are you?
Never forget.
Where in the world is Susie Poontang?
Let's take a little break.
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back, folks.
Susie Poontang.
And we're back.
The new kids on the cot. Hey everyone, it's New Kids.
Hey!
Susie Poontang.
Yes. Apparently
I'm glad she got married.
Yeah.
that guy.
I want her to get out of the life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was the quote? According to her tutor, her courtesan tutor, Doll, later said that the millionaire client, he had found the roses he found blooming at the gateway to ecstasy. He was so taken with those that
Yeah.
he actually married her within a week.
It's so amazing how they make it like this thing. Like she had fucking gorilla grip pussy. Like come on,
Yeah.
the roses are inconsequential
No, it's
completely.
it was the one flower beneath it that was really the one in bloom.
Yes.
Yes, and it was probably what the magnifying glass was meant for.
Because it was so small.
Jesus Christ!
Every time
Yep.
he's got to do the
Yep.
voice. Every
Yep.
time.
What? He doesn't even know.
I know. I don't know what I did.
American penis, too beaucoup. Too beaucoup.
So that was and that was in 1908. In 1908, then that's when they had that first ward ball. They'd been doing that every year, but that was the big one, and that was
Hinky Dink shows up. Harlots akimbo.
Yeah, but it was going around town like, this is gonna be fucking huge. This is gonna be the one, and it got so big that the Chicago Tribune. The ball was in at the end of the year. December 7th.
The Chicago Tribune ran an editorial going, "We're not going."
No, well, they ran. They said they announced that they would publish a list of any names of any quote respectable person who attended the ball.
Wow.
And
Did they feel like it was too big? Like it was getting too crazy?
I think it was a moral. They made a moral judgment.
Oh.
And it was rather hypocritical because one of their editors would tell the story that one time there was a fire happening and he shouted, "Hey reporters, I need someone to go cover the fire." And no one answered him, so he called the Everleigh house. And then he got like 3 guys.
What's up?
Oh
What's up,
my
Chief?
God.
Yeah.
Fire in Chicago? Old news.
We're not doing those anymore, Chief. We're doing whoa.
Yeah, you gotta come down here. It's tap it.
Someone threatened to. One of the preachers were preaching against it. Someone threatened to bomb his church.
Jesus. Somebody threatened to bomb his church for protesting?
Yeah,
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
and
We need to get more back to that.
Yeah.
The state attorney of Illinois, he asked Bathhouse to compromise with the reformers, and Bathhouse said, "Well, even the preachers can come if they behave themselves and promise to stick by the rules."
That's right.
Yeah. They're the worst of all.
Yeah,
Sorry, no little boys here.
and it was originally supposed to be held at this dance hall, but the night before it was supposed to happen, someone blew it up with dynamite.
Jiminy Christmas.
Fuck. So the night before that, so then they move it?
To the Coliseum.
Goddamn.
But they say
And people still want to go, even though the first location was bombed?
can't bomb everything.
Come on, dude.
I mean, how much dynamite
plus-
can one man have?
And you got to party.
Yeah.
You got to party.
You
yeah,
gotta party twice as hard.
yeah. And they said it was if a fire had started in that place, everybody would have died. There was like one entrance, 30,000 people.
Yeah, but there was like the
Oh, that's right.
layer
of beer.
piss and beer.
Yeah.
You dive underneath.
And so during that party, the Everleighs are spending about $50 an hour on champagne, about $1.6 thousand an hour today on champagne. And people were drinking it out of the shoes there, and as the
Out of the shoes.
Yeah, as is custom.
in March 1909, the next year, Jack Johnson shows up,
Hey.
Hey.
and it was the Everleigh Club was an all-white club, and one of the sisters, she would say, "Well, I am from Virginia after all."
Oh God.
And say that she said that
Aaron, I think your hypothesis is proven correct here.
yeah, I mean she basically said something to the effect of black women hate white women and black men also hate white women but are very attracted to them and
I see.
and there were not a lot of black customers or maybe any black customers ever at their place.
That might have been one of those.
But a few did go.
Well, Jack Johnson showed up, and they weren't going to let him in, but on his arm was this guy, George Little, and he was the guy who came to collect their protection payments.
Oh.
So he said, "Hey, ladies, come on."
This is Jack Johnson here, pal.
Yeah. And so he didn't sleep with any of them, but there were these five women that enjoyed his company, and he offered them a ride in his new automobile, which was a thing at the time.
He loved to drive.
Mm-hmm. And so five of them left and drove around town, and they came back, and one of the sisters said, "If any of you go out with him again, you're getting fired." And the next day, all five went out with him again,
They got fired.
and they all got fired. And one of the girls was named Belle Schneider, and she would be the woman who would become the paramour of Jack Johnson for about half of that year.
Okay.
And until Belle Schreiber, and until he found another woman later that year. But him and Belle would have an on-again, off-again relationship, a couple of violent quarrels. When she couldn't find work, he gave her money to start her own brothel. And that's where she was busted by the government and then became a government informer and testified against him years later.
Harlots.
She would be the chief witness in his Mann Act case.
Boo.
Now, so the sisters would lose women here and there. Sometimes there was one that the diamond woman, she moved down to New Orleans where she was murdered and all of her diamonds were stolen.
Jesus.
Why are you laughing?
Oh my God. That's like something I would do. That's so
Have a
fucked
murder
up.
woman
Which
for her
part?
diamonds?
No, the laughing.
Oh.
The laughing at something terrible.
Well, New Orleans is like the murder capital of the country right now. And I was thinking when you said
Well, Chicago can't be far behind, right?
No, Chicago is far behind.
Is it behind,
Yeah.
behind New Orleans?
New Orleans is like
Miami and yeah.
New Orleans is like far and away the murder capital.
Yeah.
Like
It doesn't sound like a good idea at all. I mean, I don't even think at this place having a gold piano to be a bunch
Well, how do you steal a gold
yeah,
piano?
what are you
Joe?
gonna do if I could drop it on?
I don't know. You
Wile E.
get
Coyote?
4 or 5 fellas and you fucking amscray down the road.
This guy doesn't know anything about.
No, I
pianos.
Maybe somebody's got a van.
never stolen a piano before in his life.
I'm proud to say I've never stolen a piano. I'm into pool tables. They're crazy inconvenient things to steal.
Perfect.
This guy's got a good fucking sterling silver pool table.
With cues.
And they, some of the women that worked for them were troubled. A lot of women who did become prostitutes came from.
I think the quote was "Have a screw loose."
No, yeah, but they came from poverty.
Sure.
They had a rough upbringing. They had, it was hard for them.
Yeah, nobody's first choice is to be with potentially violent men all the time.
Right. Though, with a house like this, they would get.
It would be far.
They would get.
It'd be fewer and far between. But
I think Belle Schneider was. She was a sheriff's daughter of a sheriff.
Right.
Schreiber. Yeah.
But they also have to work somewhere else first, and almost guaranteed that place was worse than this.
Sure, yes, that's true. And so one of the girls, Nellie, who Pony Moore had called to blackmail or to pin the murder on the sisters, she had eventually left, and she had she committed suicide, and they found a note on her body after they pulled her out of the river, and the note said, "I've made mistakes all my life, and the only persons to forgive me were two sisters in a sporting house. Kindly tell for me all the psalm singers to go to hell and stick the clergyman in the ash can. That goes double for all the parasites who talk a lot but don't do a damn thing to help a girl in trouble. Call Calumet 412. That was their number. I'm sure of a decent burial if you do." And so they did. They had a silk-lined casket, dozens of bouquets, and paid for her funeral.
That's like the second, like, really, like, blistering suicide note we've had in a row on this show.
Oh, yeah.
James A. Harden Hickeys. Haven't received your letter, even though you've had plenty of time to write. Anyway, I hope you can forgive yourself. I have.
I bid you adieu.
I hate your dad.
Yeah, that was a good one. So, now, the sisters could always find more girls.
Of course.
So losing women, though obviously Nellie is a tragedy, but losing Belle, that's not, or all those other women they fired.
Yeah, Susie Poontang.
That's not a problem. They can always find
more
women.
Poontang.
If you want to make big money,
come to the Everleigh house.
Yes.
If you're serious about whoring,
Yeah.
I mean, you can make more money doing that than you could pretty much any other job women could get at the time.
Yeah.
So,
And it sounds fun.
it sounds really nice.
but there was one thing that they can't stop, which is the storm brewing in American culture at that time, and especially Chicago. In January of 1908, the Chicago Tribune printed a story of an Irish immigrant who was arrested for stealing lace. Her name was Ella Gingles, and after her arrest, she claimed that she was actually the white slave of the woman who accused her of theft.
Oh, God.
The story went national. Every paper, white slavery, white slavery. The trial went on through the summer. And in late June, the Chicago Daily Socialist published an article claiming that the mayor of Chicago was involved in keeping the Irish girls slavers protected from the law, and that those same slavers had supplied the Everleigh Club with girls. And so the Tribune called the sisters, and they said, "No, I don't even know those people. I don't know that woman."
Socialist newspaper.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so at this point, the sisters say, let's get out of town for a little bit. The club can run itself for a little bit.
Yeah, it's self-sustaining.
Yeah, let's go to Europe and go to Rome and travel. In July of that year, Ella Gingles was found not guilty of theft, but the jury also found that her story of white slavery was also false.
Nice.
Ah.
And but that doesn't stop. There are stories of women who actually were white slaves.
The feeling becomes the surge.
Yes.
It's the feeling. It's the thing in the air, and these
Milieu.
Yeah, and at the time, it's like this is also like like a pre-polling time where like you can actually tell, like even in the 80s, 90s, how people on the street are feeling. They have telephone polling and stuff like that. But in that time, it's really driven by whatever editors think sells newspapers. And so then you're feeding into whatever fear is selling newspapers. And it might be a fear that the editor is making up or feeding them and getting them juiced up about.
Yeah, not like anything happening like that today.
but you know what I'm saying? It used to be, I think, straight top down, and now it kind of bounces back and forth.
Now it's AI top down.
Yes.
Whatever the algorithm says.
So the sisters go, they travel, they spend the rest of the year traveling in Europe. They come back in January of 1910, and but nothing had slowed down by that point.
The Cubs won a World Series at 08.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Was it
Coincidence?
08?
They open
so.
up their whorehouse, the Cubbies win.
Shock.
Yeah.
Close it down.
Harry Carey closed it down. Cubs win. It's 4.
Wow, that Oriental room sure is a real house of poontang.
I banged a gong in there. And I got it on in there.
In the first ward ball of 1909 was a shadow of its former self. And near the end of that year, U.S. Congressman from Chicago, James Mann, introduced a bill in Congress called the White Slave Traffic Act. It would eventually become the Mann Act. President Taft said he would sign it. The bill stated that anyone found transporting or in interstate or foreign commerce any woman or girl for, quote, the purpose of prostitution or debauchery, or for any other immoral purpose, be fined a maximum of $5,000 and spend up to 5 years in prison. So, what is debauchery?
Yeah.
What is an immoral purpose?
Yeah, what is vagrancy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like shit like that where you go like, you were somewhere?
Yeah.
And we don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like the debauchery.
And it's called the Mann Act, which is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best, yeah.
In January of 1910, Nathaniel Ford Moore, heir of James Hobart Moore, a partner in the Nabisco Corporation.
Oh, the National Biscuit Company?
Yep. Before it was Nabisco, yeah, that was one of his. Chicago Rock Island Line, Pacific Railroad, among a bunch of other businesses. Nat Ford Moore, he liked not working. And he also,
I don't love it.
Yes. And he liked drinking, and he liked morphine.
Oh.
And he liked morphine so much, he actually had a solid gold syringe with him at all times.
Are you fucking kidding me? That's the most baller thing I've ever heard in my life. Fuck a piano, dude. I'm playing Sweet Vein music.
Yeah.
With my Sears and Roebuck, a solid gold syringe.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, gold's very like pliable. Do you ever think like bent? It's just bent in his arm.
Yeah. I bet he had like Goldschlager blood.
Oh, so cool.
Little flakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, do you turn silver or you turn blue with that? What color?
It's bad gold. That's silver.
I know, but what is,
Yeah.
what is
He's
gold
a fucking
turn?
molten man.
Oh, dude, this is put that on the list.
Yeah.
Put that on the Steve Rogers list.
Yeah.
His solid gold morphine syringe.
Perfect.
I'll put it on the list.
Poontang. The movie Pootie Tang.
Taboo 2. Cum omelet.
Swing by.
Wait, what's the other one?
ATM transactions.
Yeah, I'll put it on the list.
Huh? Hey, Cap. You've missed some stuff.
Yeah, ATM.
You got to check out these ATM transactions. I got my debit card right here, Sam. It's not what I'm talking about, Cap. Show him, Tic Tac.
So you can kind of guess where the Nat Ford Moore story is going. He was at the Everleigh sisters' house until late at night, but at one point he was basically just like, human
Garbage.
human furniture. He was just laying. He was just useless.
That's one of those cool clubs, like what's that? Kubrick movie? Eyes Wide Shut. Human furniture.
Yeah.
Also involved morphine, I think. Maybe heroin.
Yeah, there was some.
If you guys didn't ever get any of that stuff, let me know. You know.
For sure, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I get morphine.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck am I going to get
I
morphine?
don't know. What if you have a debilitating disease or something?
In 1911?
You can get morphine now, man.
Yeah.
They still use it all the time. All the time.
And the sisters say, get him out of here. He's too drunk. So they call him a cab.
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet they don't put up with that for too long.
don't.
Yeah.
And so they put him in the cab, tell him to go home. He eventually ends up at a bar instead. And then a friend of his brings him to Vic Shaw's place.
Oh.
Where he tends to drinks more and he doesn't fuck. He likes talking and drinking.
He's cruising.
Yeah. And
a lot of it is the company for even guys that visit.
Yes.
Yes. Like I said, it's the option. If you're going to a place like this, it's so luxuriously appointed and full of diversion that like maybe you don't have a harlot that night. You're just hanging out with the boys.
Yeah. But also, or if you're just talking to a woman,
that's
it's
enough
like
for a lot of
times.
guys.
That, like they say, sex workers are like.
Sometimes I just want to talk. Or
no, they're like, yeah, I'm a shrink most of the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Counselor.
And so at 3 in the afternoon the next day, one of the girls goes to wake him up, and he's found dead. And so Vic Shaw, then she plans to have one of her guys bring the body to the Everleigh sisters' house and leave it there. And what had happened is that one of the girls at the Everleigh house, when the sisters said, get him out of here, she was like, no, but he's going to make me so much money. And they were like, we don't care. Get him out of here. So she threatened to quit. She went to Vic Shaw's, and she was there when Vic Shaw was talking about this plan to bring the body over there. She called the sisters. The sisters then show up with a cop and go like, nah, you're not doing that.
Just beat him to the punch.
Yeah.
Smart ladies.
Yeah. But also, you treat
your employees right.
Yeah. And they go, well, they shouldn't get fucked over.
That's right.
But again, that's another rich guy. Another son of a scion of the city.
Yeah.
Found dead. Where is he found dead?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, not at their place.
No, but
in the Satan's Mile.
In a house of ill repute.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Yes.
They like it. They like it.
Yeah.
Rich kids ODing on pleasure. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
It's a favorite pastime.
Like, what did you want them to do it at their job?
What job?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That is their job.
Yeah.
They die and doing what they love.
Have it on a racquetball court.
Playing polo.
Where can
not playing polo, Alfred.
if it's at a country club, they go like, it's a tragedy.
Yeah.
And in June 1910, President Taft signs the Mann Act. Congressman Mann, he had this to say, quote, the white slave traffic, while not so extensive, is much more horrible than any black slave traffic ever was in the history of the world.
Oh, no.
Rep. William Cox of Indiana said it was 1,000 times worse and more degrading in its consequences.
Yeah. Can you imagine the black folks reading the paper?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Fucking astounding.
Incredible.
Fuck, man.
Jesus Christ. Oh, just really buying your own bullshit hard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's all pussy they're moving around.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
I want it.
Orders of magnitude worse than centuries of entrenched, forced chattel slavery.
Yeah.
Some of these girls were getting paid to drink champagne out of their own shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, the humanity.
Yeah, making a tidy sum.
Can you believe it?
No, that's absolutely
shameful.
Oh, humiliating.
Abortive. Forced to drink clam juice and aspirin in the morning.
In late 1910, or later in that 1910, Chicago Vice Commission,
those guys
steps up, starts interviewing people in the city.
Excuse me, man, Chicago Vice here.
Hey, you like drinking and whoring, don't you?
Yeah. Hey, to me and as much as the next guy, but hey, I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, it's not Miami Vice over here. We're Chicago PD.
Yeah.
The ceviche's pretty nice over there at the Everleigh house, huh?
The Peruvian cuisine.
And so they interview prostitutes, brothel workers, pimps, madams, police officers, professors, and put together in a report because of the public outcry.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the sisters are kind of seeing like, they come back and they see that all this stuff is changing, but they go like, okay, well, we think we can still pay off the right people. And we need to promote this place better.
Yeah.
And so in late 1910, they hire a professional photographer, and he takes pictures of every room.
Mm-hmm.
He then takes the best pictures, and he prints them out and puts them in a leather-bound book. And the sisters print them and mail them around the country.
Yeah.
Check out our hot shit.
And I was able to find a scanned version of it.
Nice.
Yes, you did send that to us.
So I was just gonna say real quick while you're bringing that out, but like there is that thing of like the approved scams and the non-approved scams, and like the thing about this is like if you have those Vice guys going there. And, there is a like you said, a gray legal area.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that like anybody on the street, including the sisters, are willing to talk to the police.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
Yeah.
Because it's not a scam.
Because it's not a scam. And they can also weed out the people that are actually hurting people and fucking them over.
Mm-hmm.
When you blacklist all of it,
Yes.
nobody knows anything that's going on.
Yep.
And it's all fucked up. And then like there's this like, you know, a weird flip side of you know, corruption stuff, you know, where it's like, let's not make a problem where there isn't one. You know, when it comes to something like, you know, drafting like high school players into college and stuff, like the bribing,
Oh, yeah.
all that shit that goes on. But like everybody there is like approved society.
Yeah.
So like all that shit's fine. They're like, hey, you know, if these guys show up, it wouldn't hurt if they got some blowjobs. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying, you know. So there's like there's weird like, you know, things like that. But it seems like at this time, the weird thing that bound everybody so much is that everybody was so corrupt in a way. And this is still fucking pre prohibition.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? Like there could have been like very good work for the Vice Squad to do to find out like, okay, who the fuck actually is trafficking humans and who is having brothels where they fucking beat the girls and you can't.
It ain't this place.
Yeah.
Yes, right. But anyway, sidebar.
And so here's the front leather cover, Everleigh Club with the address.
It's very nice.
Everleigh Club Illustrated. A little description of when they opened and
Sumptuous.
Wonderful typeface.
yes.
While not an extremely imposing edifice without, is a most sumptuous place within. 2131 Dearborn Street, Chicago has long been famed for its luxurious furnishings, famous paintings and statuary, and its elaborate and artistic decorations. The new annex, 2133 Dearborn Street, formerly opened November 1st, 1902, has added prestige to the club and won admiration and praise from all visitors. With double front entrances, the twin buildings within are so connected as to seem as one. Steam heat throughout, with electric fans in the summer, one never feels winter's chill or summer's heat in this luxurious resort. Fortunate indeed, with all the comforts of life surrounding them, are the members of the Everleigh Club.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
This little booklet will convey but a faint idea of the magnificence of the club and its appointments.
Very well read, John.
Yes. Nicely done. So they have the front, they have their silver parlor and their gold parlor.
Look at
and
this.
their
Look at this.
green parlor, copper parlor,
Come on.
the piano, Japanese parlor.
Japanese parlor, Jesus Christ, I feel like I'm fucking Tokyo.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Tattoo a fucking bouquet of roses above my navel.
I got a fucking tattoo of fucking sour tulips over my fucking junk. The fucking stink of the fucking... God.
They have the ballroom.
Corner view of the ballroom.
Here's the other side of the ballroom with another piano.
Uh-huh.
The club room with also a piano.
Yeah, chandeliers everywhere, dreeping, like guys,
Ghosts live there now.
it does, like, the curtains are highly luxurious.
Yeah.
They're incredibly well curated rooms.
Yeah. The Japanese throne room.
It's overtly opulent.
Yeah.
Entrance hall there. Mosque looking into the Moorish room.
I love that they're so inclusive
Yes.
with all sorts of different cultures.
That way is Mecca.
So when you're getting butt fucked, you bend east. 4 times a day.
Yeah. I'll be back here. Let me tell you. Sunrise, sunset, and when. I don't give a fuck. I'll be pointing that way. You do what you got to do back there.
I'm not asking any questions, pal.
Praise be to Allah.
Muhammad is his prophet.
The Oriental music room here.
Yeah.
The Rose Parlor.
There's only one
Luis
thing
Cortez.
you can play on that piano.
Chopsticks.
I wasn't thinking chopsticks. But yeah, that also applies.
The Rose Parlor with Louis XIV.
Oh, Louis the 14th. Nice.
And then also the Green Parlor, Louis XV.
Oh,
Louis VI.
15th.
Yeah. There's entrance hall of the other side.
Look at the ceilings.
Yeah, incredible ceiling.
Yeah.
Stairway.
Oh,
Art Deco.
This makes the Titanic look like a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, dust the Titanic.
The blue parlor, the alcove of the blue room, the parlor of the rose room, alcove of the rose room, breakfast room,
Oh, God. Breakfast after a nice...
dining room.
This is not... We could not afford this.
No. Private car buffet.
Guys like us?
I mean, maybe if we pooled all our money and you let me go, and then I could tell you guys.
Fucking the only one of us not single.
Yeah, that's why I tell you what it's like.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, you go undercover like those Vice guys.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to do a lot of fucking research here.
Yeah.
I'm not joking you.
Mm-mm.
So they send that out, and they think solid sell, good idea. At the very least, thank you for doing it, just for the fact that we
We can look
see
at it.
those fucking rooms.
Yeah.
But that goes out at the end of the beginning of 1911. In April of 1911, a new mayor is elected in Chicago, and he vows to crack down on. At first, he's like, we'll just keep it as it was. He's like, we'll take the bribes, blah blah. But
This is Chicago.
yeah, but he does change his mind, and the Vice Commission puts out their report. And the Vice Commission, they say that the Everleigh Club, they say it is largely this about the place. It would largely disprove the solemn statement that in 5 years these girls will all be dead. They say the girls there are in robust health.
Right.
But it's the best house in Chicago, and that is, if all the clubs were like this. But they do find, as they interview all these people, there's one brothel employed 18 quote unquote inmates, 12 of whom had syphilis.
But this is not their brothel.
Right.
This is their report on the other brothels in the area.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you only use that as an example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Necrosis had set in one girl's hand,
What?
and she was still working.
Oh,
In
jerk me with the dead hand.
in one house, 4 harlots performed an exhibition with animals.
No, what was the address of that place?
Why is this ghost barking at me?
Jesus Christ.
Exhibitions with animals.
There's one madam.
Put it on the list, Steve.
Okay.
All right, donkey show. All
One,
right.
well, I guess I'll investigate. One madam and her one
Whatever it takes.
one boarder received 400 men a week.
Oh my God.
There were girls could buy a wad of opium as easy as chewing gum while they were there, and so there were enough bad stories
Yes.
to
Yes.
Agreed.
yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, like we're saying, there's a way to police these things in a way where you don't have to attack the whole,
Yeah.
and you can just attack the cancer.
Right.
And the commission stated that Chicago should establish a morals court and a morals commission and should immediately call for the, quote, absolute annihilation of the levee district.
So, and that's the thing is that, like, you can say it is still moral to separate those things.
Right.
You go like, that's a house where no women get beat up, and they will never get beat up.
Yeah.
And that's a house where
Dogs get blown.
dogs.
And they're good dogs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more worried about the necrosis hand and all
the
that.
syphilis.
Well, I'm an animal lover.
Yeah. Oh, this guy.
Yeah.
So are they. What?
Yeah. When you're right, you're wrong. But
Yeah. Frequently.
Yeah, man, that must have been. I mean, you think. I'm sure all that was happening.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, without question, because it's still not legal. Like
Right.
And also, they're still paying a bribe to some guy.
And
Because it's not legal.
And if it was legal, they would still be in business because of the way they're operating.
Yeah.
They're operating as a de facto legal operation.
yeah.
The other places, there's no fucking rules.
Yeah, and and they're also getting around the fact that the city had made it illegal for them to sell booze, but you pay off the right people, you still have it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they if all of the houses were like this, of course, but by making it illegal, it doesn't matter how good the good one is. You're gonna, the only way to operate is to pay people off. Then illegal things are gonna be happening.
Exactly.
Yeah. And this is like also too like so we're getting like the uptick of the move towards suffrage, which is hand in hand with prohibition in a way. And so there's that thing too, where you also gotta go like, and this is like terrifying logic to deal with, but it is kind of, I think, apropos of what's going on. But like, there's the thing where you go like, all right, well, if you're getting like more moralist and you're leaning towards prohibition, there's a thing where you go like, isn't it better if my guy is going to like a cat house than coming home to me when he's liquored up? You know what I mean? Like, there's
well, I mean, especially because
No, I think they were dogs, John.
yeah.
I mean, not like
Dog house.
These women are having 7, 8, 9 kids. Like that's destroying their body.
Yeah.
And
then this guy's getting drunk.
Yeah.
And fucking, and like also like, it was like all in one for all these guys. Like you got to go gamble.
Yeah, you have to gamble.
Yeah,
you have to drink. You got to network.
Yeah, you got to have, sex with a prostitute or whatever. So it was like
you got to rejoice.
Yeah, and like the thing is like, I could see women at that point being like, so I either got to stay home here and deal with this shithead or go out there and deal with a million shitheads a night.
Yeah.
And that being like, fuck this. And like, let's shut this down, So I mean, in a way I understand, but there is, like, obviously now we can see very clearly like, yeah, shut down shitty fucking brothels that abuse people and neglect people and let people that do good business alone.
Yeah.
Duh.
I mean, if consenting adults want to have sex for money, what am I gonna? I'm gonna say, just let me watch.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all I want to do. I just want to be in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fly on the wall.
I'll hold the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just be my little area over here.
Yeah, all these rooms got a secret little portico, They all got a looking glass room. Series of mirrors, optics.
Yeah.
The voyeur room.
Yeah.
They're one of their. What was it? One of their clients. One of his favorite things was he always wanted a ladder in his room because he liked to have.
Oh, King! We got a real slobber knocker up in here.
He liked to. He would have the girl like run up the ladder and then he would go and like
chase
after her and grab her and then they'd put the ladder somewhere else and they would do it again.
I always wanted to be a firefighter.
Yeah.
That's a very specific fetish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another guy they called I think it was called the Gold Bag Man or Gold Coin Man. And
Aaron, this sounds like you.
what he liked to do, the girls loved him because what he liked to do is he had a bag of gold coins with him.
Oh, leprechaun.
And he would say, lay down on the bed, and it's really good luck if I can flick a coin onto your sensitive areas.
No.
And every time I do, you get to keep the coin.
Shit.
I tried it with poontang, but I could never hit the spot. So small.
God damn it. It came back.
I need one of you meaty Irish broads with those big targets.
Yeah. I've got the curtains for you.
Make it all the way down the fucking hallway.
Yeah, so if you were a reputable man and just had a weird fetish, as long as you paid your bills, you could do it here, and the girls didn't mind not getting fucked.
I'm sure they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, too many other gross foreign objects around. It's grossing me out.
Yeah, ladders. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, gold like on your pussy. Just no, get that out of there.
Gold's all right.
I mean,
You think so?
John, if it hits the right spot, I mean, come
Gold's
on.
nice.
Obviously, you've never sat.
Obviously, you've never played a video game.
You've never sat on a gold coin, John.
Yeah.
John, this is before this game will make you come in 5 minutes generation.
That's right.
Believe me, I got a gold Sibian. It makes me come in 5 seconds. I bought a gold Sibian. It's me, lotto winner.
Yeah. And so after the
Better let me try it.
Solid gold sippy.
after the Vice Commission report came out, it kind of blew up. I mean, the newspapers had a field day with it. Biggest news in Chicago at the time.
Well, it was like, it's one of those things too where you're like, now you're investigating stuff that you finally care about.
Yes.
You know, like what was going on 2 years ago was probably worse.
Yeah, but also, you've also let it get this bad too.
Yeah, exactly.
By pretending it didn't exist.
100%, yeah.
And so, the police chief, John McWeeny. He'd always been bribable.
Yeah.
Is it McQueenie?
It's McWeeny.
Okay, yeah.
It's McQueen.
It's McQueenie.
Him and fucking Hinky Dink having a field day.
They took down Ike Bloom's the mobster's portrait from the police station. And
Good move. Good start.
McWeeny says those ladies have to get off those streets.
No, he said, those ladies need to get off those streets.
Let them jump in the lake if they want.
Let them jump in the...
Yeah.
Oh, we'd rather them dead than working.
Yes.
What a fucking loser.
But that is the mindset of men in power at the time. And even men not in power. I think it's just men in general.
Yeah.
Even the religious ones are going like, I don't want them working in a brothel.
I'd rather have them dead.
Yeah, but I also don't want them working.
But, yeah, and also, like, they still want to go there.
Yeah.
They still want that to be an option.
Yeah, they're just priced out.
Yeah.
They want it to be fucking just very hush-hush. It's fucking insane.
But yes, and when this happens, the police go around and they tell some of the clubs to stop running.
Yeah, the ones with the dead girl hand.
And one of the sisters makes a joke to him about, oh, should they all just jump in the lake now or what? And then a couple days later, they're all back up again after everything cools down a little bit. But the mayor, everywhere he went, he heard about this brochure for the club. He would go out of town and someone would go, did you hear about this? Leather-bound. And so he figured he couldn't close the whole Levy district, but he at least could close the jewel.
Uh-huh. Oh, it's the Martha Stewart idea.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's like everybody does a bunch of fucked up insider trading. We'll get Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
The most well-known.
It'll take the whole thing down.
Yeah.
No one's doing
Well, we'll look like we're doing something.
Yeah. No, that's pretty much it.
Scapegoat. Yeah.
October 24th, 1911, he sits down, he writes an order. He writes it himself. He doesn't have someone write it for him. It's very big business. Gives it to a messenger. The messenger brings it to the police, and
Take that down there.
And it reads, "Close the Everleigh Club." And the next day,
Took him 4 hours to write it.
I need to get my publicist to write this.
Well, I tried to hire a woman, but she was fucking all tied up at the Everleigh Club.
And the next day, squad cars show up, and they order all the girls out, all the guests out. They close the place down, and they make it illegal for them to ever start the club up again.
No.
The sisters then go back to Europe for another trip just to clear their head. They come back. They move into a place on the west side of Chicago. Their neighbors know about their past and then run them out of town. They moved to New York with their gold piano.
Oh, good.
Nice.
And they retired with over $1 million at the time. Probably, $10, $15 million today.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Good for them.
Hooray.
And they changed their name to Lester. They moved to New York City. And, at various points, people reach out to them being like, are you them? And they go, oh, no, they took our names. We're not them.
They look like us.
But one of, Karen Abbott says that one of their nieces eventually reached out to either her or someone else saying like, oh yeah, they were interviewed by this man named Charles Washburn who wrote a book about him, but the stories they told him were not the real of their history and who they were. Really.
Oh, really?
They had hidden their family name forever. They had never revealed any of the clients who went to their place ever.
Good.
Very good.
Good.
Very good.
And Minna Everleigh died in 1948. Ada sold all of her belongings, moved back to Virginia, and she died in 1960 at the age of 93.
Fuck.
And I've always was a Virginia girl.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go back down home to Virginia and find me a nice man.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's a crazy time.
And so, then Chicago would go about closing the rest of the brothels.
Come on, gals, get out of here.
And even now, the Levy District doesn't exist anymore. It's now been the house at Dearborn. That doesn't exist anymore. That is, it's if you Google it, you actually get like a strip of land in the middle of two other roads. It's an escape room. Yeah,
that would be awesome.
I'm in the fucking Tokyo room. How do I get?
Which way's Mecca?
You gotta do on the piano, then you get the fuck out of there.
Then you shoot an 8-ball of smack. You gotta call to the poontang door. It's very small.
Yeah, now pull on the mummy's nipples.
And you're free.
You're good to go there, Pouty.
In 1912, the Levy District, the leaders, they tried to raise money to basically like keep the place going, and they had a giant parade in October of 1912.
That must have been a scene. Big prostitute parade?
2,000 harlots.
Oh.
High feathered hats and plummeting gowns.
And in heat.
Yeah.
Harlots in heat?
Bare legs, goose bumped in the cool air, Abbott writes.
Ooh, R.L. Stein.
And they marched down the street, lighting with their cigarettes lit and winking at men. All their wives were aghast.
Going ape shit. Yeah. Yeah, the goosebumps make it sound so alluring.
Well, the thing is
March in the summer.
Well, the one of the Everleigh things was like the women that worked at the Everleigh Club had to shave their legs.
Wow.
Like most women didn't shave their legs in those days. But
I like it.
Wow.
I'm not against it, but if you don't want to, that's fine too.
So these fucking bare brides next to these guys are all pissed off.
Oh.
These ladies have.
What? Boy, I'm not good enough for you. Well, honey, she's got goosebumps.
Mm-hmm. Check it out. Look for yourself.
And so
it's like a 5-year-old boy in a playpen.
Exactly.
Yeah, what the fuck was that about? Remember that shit earlier?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
A woman dressed like a 5-year-old boy. She was in a sandbox. What the fuck was going on there?
Dude, I don't know.
Pretty
Pretty
cool.
cool. Boy in a Cracker Jack box.
pretty cool.
That was like the Jason X of fucking Taboo. Taboo in
X.
space. Taboo in space. What the fuck are you doing? I'm a little boy. 36-year-old woman. What'd you say, lady?
Nothing.
You got any Bazooka Joe?
I like the comics.
I like the comics. I like the Laffy Taffy jokes.
And so eventually the Levy District would be shut down, and America would then spend the rest of its time until up to now, we've solved it, struggling with their understanding of sex and
work
and how to deal with it in an adult way. And the Mann Act helped bring about the development of the FBI, and
good guys.
They used the Mann Act was mainly used just to crack down on black men sleeping with white women.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus fucking
Yeah, we
Christ.
talked about that in the Iceberg Slim episode.
Yep. And
fucking catastrophe.
and
It's called the Man
Act. And the fear of white slavery would fall away as World War I neared. A former mayor of Toledo, he said white slavery was, quote, a sort of pornography to satisfy the American sense of news.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. It's salacious.
No. And the implication is that blacks are enslaving whites.
Yeah,
That's like what makes it a headline thing.
absolutely.
And nothing could be further from the truth. It's like, it's fucking preposterous. But it's also just so telling that they would only be outraged by slavery if you put the word white before it. It's hilarious.
And also, a lot of the narratives would be, so a woman is arrested for prostitution. She was sleeping with a black guy.
How can we blame a black guy for this?
But she can be, get off by saying that the black guy raped her.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then they arrest him.
100%.
And even then, even they're going, no, but you were,
Right.
weren't you?
Yeah. We can make this all go away.
Yeah, we can make this all go away
Yeah.
by ruining someone's life.
Right. Or starting riots and lynchings.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was, happened in Florida and God knows how many other places. Somebody just lied about a rape and it was just to protect them because they were having an affair. And
Yeah.
They just said, a black man raped me. And then tens of thousands of people would die.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tens of thousands.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking insanity.
But throughout the country, the vice districts, the red light districts in all of the cities would eventually be closed down, probably before World War I even started. So basically, by the end of the decade, the vice districts were completely underground.
Yeah, I mean,
They didn't go away.
It's kind of,
It probably got worse.
Yeah.
Fewer in number, but probably higher.
but it is crazy in a way too when you think about there's stuff now. I think we've talked about how before things got super PC, things were super raunchy. You know what I mean? Whether it's the 80s, like Dice and stuff like that, and then the 90s and stuff like that.
Jerry Springer.
And then it's like Dane Cook and things are more raunchy rape jokes, stuff like that. Things get super PC. But also back then,
I don't know how Dane Cook got into this.
well, it was just more like stand-up comedy about one night stands and shit like that. You know what I mean? It was just,
I gotcha.
you know what I mean? It was more bro-y.
Sure.
Yes.
But back then, it was America's pendulum was swinging between church fucking Puritans and fucking straight up outlaw Wild West anything
Sure,
goes shit.
Yeah.
And the pendulum kind of went there in that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's always been fierce champions of both.
Yeah.
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 People who loved it both ways.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
I
swung
love
by.
it. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a very good story.
Yes. Yeah.
Very, very, very interesting.
Found it on the floor of a bookstore. Wow. Great book, though. Aaron, as I say this a lot, but when you read these books and the writer actually makes it fun to read.
Oh, yeah.
What a difference that makes.
100%.
I mean, how could you not have fun reading about Poontang?
Dude, I just
Sepata.
What a ta.
I was because I don't look at the chapter titles before I read it, and I'm just going through and I go,
Yeah, come on, yeah. You know it's gonna set us off.
I think there's a quote in here from
Susie Poontang was too good for this town.
We're more of a Pootie Tang.
Yeah. Susie Poontang was actually too good for this earth in a way. I like to think she got on a rocket ship, just took that good pussy to Mars.
And if you look in the sky, you can see it getting smaller.
Yeah, a
and
little bouquet of
smaller
roses.
and smaller.
Where the fuck are
If
you?
you got a magnifying glass, you can get it even deeper.
If you got a gold coin, well, hey, you might get a free ride.
Right, except it's... You said there was a problem with hitting the gold coin?
Oh, because it's so small.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Very, very good. I love hearing about
Debauchery.
yeah, women exploiting men
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure.
in a very reasonable way. This is a very reasonable exploitation.
It's not even exploitation.
Well,
No, yeah.
It's just like come here and don't fuck around.
right. Yeah.
You have all the power.
Yes. I don't mean it. I mean, I guess I mean exploiting urges. I don't mean like taking advantage of, but
Of
I mean
course, yeah.
feeding a market need.
Yeah. I mean, those girls in their twilight years, which we say go to fucking 1960,
Yeah.
still don't say the names.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing where you go like, that's what you're buying, pal.
Yeah, that's what the money's...
And you know what they're doing there? They're going, I'm doing this for all the other houses open now, baby.
Yep. Smart.
I could write a book. I could write a book that would fucking,
Bring down half of Congress.
No, but just even just sell like crazy, And they're like, no, that's part of the deal is the secrecy. It's the private club.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself.
Private.
Mm-hmm. Well.
Oh, I thought you had another thing to read.
No, it's just Susie saying how much she likes Chicago.
Wow.
Minna, there's a quote. Each chapter has a quote, and one from Minna is that I don't mind man's crimes, but I do mind his hypocrisy.
Oh.
It's very, very true. It's very, very true. The crimes are also not good.
Yeah.
That's true.
The worst part is the hypocrisy.
I think
the worst part is the rape.
the crimes, yeah. And then they've made it a profession at this point. Matt, that was excellent.
Great story.
Thank you.
I think we should get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say goodnight. I love you. My name is John Fahey.
My name is Seaman Seagal.
I'm Matt Brousseau.
Good night, everybody. We love you.